Well, we are not just swiping on simple puzzle games anymore. Our phones have basically become pocket consoles, capable of running massive, living, breathing open worlds. 2026 is pushing mobile hardware to its absolute limits, delivering experiences we used to only dream of having on the go. So today I am breaking down the top 12 new best open world games for Android and iOS in 2026. Now make sure you are already subscribed to the channel and let's jump right in. Kicking off at number 12, we have Rio Rise, a life simulator game. Now, I wanted to include this cause the concept is actually fire. It's an open world RPG set in the vibrant streets and favelas of Brazil. You can choose to be a law-abiding citizen, a cop, or join the mafia to rule the underworld. It's got that raw, started from the bottom vibe where you are managing your hunger, thirst, and energy while trying to build a street legacy. But let's keep it 100%. This game has some serious rough edges you need to know about before hitting download. Despite being updated recently in March 2026, the community is pretty vocal about the bugs. We are talking about missions that sometimes break, like getting a driver's license only to be teleported into the middle of nowhere without a car. The economy is also a bit of a grind unless you are ready to put in some serious hours or some real cash for RC coins. Progress can feel slow. The game looks stunning and offers a ton of freedom, but go in knowing that the street life comes with a side of technical jank. Well, it's solid pick if you want a gritty, realistic roleplay fix, but it definitely needs more polish to move higher up this list. Coming in at number 11 is Oceanhorn 3. As I have covered before on this channel, the legendary mobile adventure series is back, and the scale has been dialed up to 11. Well, if you have played the previous titles, you know they wear their classic adventure inspiration on their sleeve, but Oceanhorn 3 craves out its own identity with a massive, seamless ocean open world. You are sailing between beautiful crafted islands, solving intricate environmental puzzles, and diving into massive dungeons. The graphical leap here is stunning, and the combat feels much more responsive and weighty this time around. Now breaking into the top 10, we have Heartopia. Now this is your ultimate cozy multiplayer live sim. Think of it as your virtual escape. You are dropped into a vibrant town where you can build your absolute dream home from the ground up. Go fishing, bird watching, or just hang out with friends in a shared server. There are over 1,000 daily outfits to mix and match, so the customization is top tier. It's fully multiplayer, so you can literally invite your buddies over to your customized mansion for a virtual tea party. Well, it's slow-paced, relaxing, and incredibly addictive. Number 9 brings us Sound of Horses. This is a highly unique take on the open world genre. Instead of focusing entirely on combat or building bases, your primary focus is on equestrian exploration and taming. You are traversing realistic landscapes, building bonds with different breeds of horses. Each horse has its own stats and temperament. It is visually gorgeous, but this isn't your typical high-speed racing game. It's a story-driven, episodic adventure that's all about the bond between you and your horse. Well, if you are a fan of narrative-heavy horse games and don't mind a bit of indie jank, it's a gem. But if you want total freedom to roam, you might find the early hours a bit restrictive. At number 8, we have the 7 Deadly Sins Origin. Now, I know I have talked about this game heavily in past videos, and many of you were wondering why it missed its original January release. The devs actually delayed it to late March cause they listened to the closed beta feedback. Players felt the controls were a bit unresponsive, the combat tempo was too slow, and the UI was clunky. Instead of rushing a broken game, Netmarble pushed it back to overhaul the combat pacing and polish the exploration. Well, it officially hits mobile on March 23rd, 2026, and we are finally exploring the massive continent of Britannia in a true high-fidelity open world, where you can fly, swim, and climb anywhere. And the tag team combat lets you swap between characters mid-air for explosive combos. Moving on to number 7, we have One Lion Roleplay Simulator. Now don't let the name fool you. You are not playing as a literal lion in the savannah here. This is actually a massive multiplayer 5M style roleplay game for mobile. You are dropped into a huge urban open world where you can choose a path as a civilian, a medic, a gang member, or a cop. It's all about the social grind, like starting as a courier to earn cash, buying your first car, and eventually building a business empire or a powerful clan. But while the freedom is top-notch, we have to talk about the lion in the room, the technical state of the game. Even with the March 2026 updates, players are reporting some pretty frustrating bugs. The most common complaint, connection stability. You might find yourself getting kicked from the server or logged off right in the middle of a high-stakes mission. The map is also massive, which sounds great until you realize how long it takes to get anywhere. Well, the game offers a deeper RP experience than games like One State, but you will need a stable internet connection and a bit of patience for the occasional crash. Sitting comfortably at number 6 is Arknight's Endfield. As I mentioned in my previous videos covering this game, you guys already know my stance. I am not a fan of heavy gacha monetization or forced autoplay combat, which is exactly why Endfield stood out to me. This is a real-time 3D RPG with a massive emphasis on actual manual strategy. You are exploring the dangerous sci-fi planet of Telos 2 and combining tactical, squad-based combat with base-building factory management. It's challenging, demands your attention, and respects your time. At number 5, we are diving deep with Subnautica Below Zero. Honestly, I'm still shocked that mobile devices can handle this game without melting. The terrifying underwater survival masterpiece is officially ported over and it runs beautifully. You are stranded on an alien planet, completely covered in ice, forcing you to dive into the freezing depths to gather resources, build habitats, and try to uncover the mystery of what happened to the research team. The atmosphere and pure terror of encountering a Leviathan-class creature in the dark on your phone is something else. Landing at number 4 is Free Life. Imagine if GTA and Minecraft had a baby. It's a massive third-person open-world city filled with luxury cars, weapons, and total freedom, all rendered in a unique, high-definition Blocky style. You can explore by land, sea, or air using speedboats and planes, and you can even team up with friends for co-op combat or write a squad missions to keep the city in order. However, we need to talk about the download process. As of right now, the official Play Store version has been a bit finicky for some regions, leading many players to hunt for the APK on third-party sites. Well, it's a blast for Sandbox lovers, but make sure your phone has the juice to handle it. And folks, now it is time, smash that subscribe button and discover amazing games. Getting down to the final 3. At number 3, we have Neverness to Everness. This game is launching globally on April 29, 2026, and the hype is incredibly real. This is essentially an anime version of GTA. You are exploring the supernatural, neon-drenched city of Hetero as an apparizer. The combat is incredibly fast-paced, hack-and-slash action, and the absolute highlight is the vehicle customization. You can buy supercars, tune them in your own garage, and race through the streets while listening the in-game radio. Well, it's gorgeous, chaotic, and entirely free-to-play. Our runner-up at number 2 is Where Winds Meet. Again, this is another masterpiece I have heavily covered and praised on this channel before. The pure manual wuxia combat here is phenomenal. No autoplay, no hand holding, just pure skill. You are a wandering swordsman in 10th century China, and the movement system lets you really run on water and glide over rooftops. The reason it's back on this list today is the brand new Hexi expansion that is available right now, adding massive new regions to explore, new martial arts styles, and an entire new storyline. Well, if you haven't played this yet, what are you waiting for?
Hello, old friend. It's been a long time.
And finally, taking the crown at number 1, it's the one and only Red Dead Redemption. Look, we have been waiting years for this, and having John Marston's story in our pockets is a literal game changer. The story, the ambient world, the horse riding, and the tense shootouts, it's all here. But before you jump into the saddle, you need to know which version to actually play, cause there is a huge difference between the Netflix edition and the Rockstar standalone version. Well, if you already have a Netflix subscription, this version is basically free. It's highly compressed and it's actually better optimized for mid-range devices, but you pay for that efficiency with lower texture quality and slightly more compressed audio. The lighting is not as dynamic, and if you have high-end headphones, you will definitely notice the difference in the sound design. Then you have the Rockstar standalone version, which is also the one you get via GTA Plus. This is the heavyweight version. This is the definitive way to play. We are talking higher resolution textures, sharper shadows, and since the March 2026 update, full HDR support. Well, on a high-end screen, those desert sunsets look absolutely insane. It feels like a direct port of the console remaster rather than a mobile compromise. Idea is a 10x10 masterpiece that proves mobile gaming in 2026 is no longer just for time killers, it's for the real epics. So, are you going the free Netflix route, or are you dropping the cash for the high-res Rockstar version? Let me know in the comments. I am curious to see what hardware you guys are running on this. And that wraps up our top 12 list. Let me know down in the comments which of these games are you downloading first. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button if you are new here, and turn on the notification bell to get updated. Now you can watch my latest videos from here, and as always, I will catch you guys in the next one. Happy gaming!